Yes guys, welcome back. Today's Boxing Day and we're doing deadlifts and I'm gassed up. I'm excited to train. I don't know about you, but having just them like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off work, training, it's only 2 days, but it's just sort of given me that bit of downtime I probably needed to think about where I wanted to be with training, with coaching next year. Mainly training, to be honest. Like coaching, I'm just fucking enjoying it at the minute, and yeah, I'm not like thinking about creating like a mad business right now. That's not really like what I'm thinking about. I'm more just thinking about like kind of going back to like naturally without trying. What happens to me is I end up just naturally going back to being like a purist with coaching. Which like my downside used to be like business, you know what I mean? And I always used to be it sounds like fucking Hasbull then, business. But because I'm so like passionate about coaching and training and shit, I'd often neglect like the business side of it, and like I definitely strengthened that weakness like over the last few years, but I can't help it like naturally, and it's my bias. I just go back to just like the purist. Like I'm just thinking about training loads right now and what I want to do, and you know, long story short, like two main things have like kind of cropped up in my head, and I will get on with this because I do need to crack on. I'm on a time sketch today, off to in-laws. But main two things that kind of came into my head is one, that all-in mindset with training. Like I've definitely been like neglecting that a little bit. I've been more like fitting this in on like family and coaching and stuff, which is great, and it's like more relatable for clients, and you know, it's great for all these types of things because it's more normal and I get more balance and all that kind of shit. But ultimately, like I've only got my 30s to like really push my training side of things and to get as strong as I can do. And it's very easy to be like, oh well, you're never going to be like a great power lifter. You're not going to go enhanced and be like an enhanced bodybuilder. You're not that interested in being a natural bodybuilder. You might do it for fun at one point. So it's like, oh, well, what's the point in like treating it so seriously? May as well balance, and that kind of creeps in. Does that thought? But yeah, I think I'm definitely urging towards the side of like, let's just push it and just don't use that as an excuse. Let's see how far we can push this, see how strong we can get, and be serious, be even more serious with it. So I've just been up in the attic. I've walked the dog. I had my pre-workout meal, what have you. I've come into the garage, put the heater on, gone upstairs, done 10 minutes on the walking pad at a brisk pace. Before that I also did my back relaxation drill, some different stretching. Now I'm in here, and yeah, it takes longer this way, but I think it's just going to get me more out of my training. I'm in here now, I'm going to do my pre-ab rehab stuff, a couple of warm-up exercises, and then we're going to get into deadlift. So I'm taking more time, yes, but that's what it takes basically. It's just fucking depositing more time and effort into it. So yeah, deadlifts are on the menu today. This is still week one of this current training block. Normal deadlifts off the floor are back in. This is the first time I've done normal deadlifts off the floor since before my competition. And it's week one. I've got a top double at RP6. I've already decided I'm not going to let myself go any heavier than 150 for that top double. I did 220 kilos in my competition, but I'm detrained right now on normal deadlifts. I've been doing them off a deficit, been doing pause deadlifts, all this kind of shit. So 150, 2 reps is going to be as heavy as I let myself go, and then 140 for back offs for sets of 3. Then we've got safety bar good mornings. We're doing sets of 4 on this block. We did 5s in the last block and 6s on the block before. I'm going to start off with just 20 kilos aside. I still don't know how much my safety bar weighs. I need to weigh it really. And then we're going to head down to the unit fitness, which I've not been doing the last 3 weeks. I've been just modifying my session and doing it here. I head down there and make sure I do my leg extensions and that, because there's nothing I can replicate with a leg extension, and I don't think my body's quite ready for me to be doing anything like another goblet squat and shit like that. Like I had a bit of a back spasm squatting on Monday, which I didn't put on my YouTube. If I've still got the video, I'll put it here. And I just went on I was only doing 105 kilos, but it was like my last set, and I could feel the reason why I did 105 kilos because I dropped the weight because I felt so fatigued. And obviously I'm not trying to send it on week one, so I dropped the weight, and first rep my back just went as I was on my way up. So I need to be using things like the leg extensions to get the extra leg work in, rather than trying to do extra squatting movements and things like that. So yeah, super motivated right now. I suppose that's quite normal this time of year. But yeah, I'm not going to record my warm-ups, but I will record deadlifts once we get into that. I'll see you shortly. Right, so we've done all this pre-heavy stuff. Then a good little deadlift warm-up you can do that's pretty quick that we just did, or I just did. So reverse lunges, 8 reps each leg. Single leg RDL, 8 reps each leg. Pull-ups, 3 reps, but really focusing on squeezing your lats, full stretch. And then forearm planks, 3 breaths. So what I mean by that is, squeeze your ass cheeks as tight as you can. We're not just chilling for 60 seconds like people do. Squeeze your ass cheeks as tight as you can. Engage your abs, squeeze your quads as tight as you can. As you breathe out, imagine you're blowing up a balloon, like really pursed, like fucking lips like you're kissing someone, like lips like a bumhole. Let all your, not that you kiss someone like a bumhole, all your air out when you do that. You should feel everything contract even harder. Breathe in through the nose, and 3 breaths of that. It's pretty intense when you actually do it. Then deadlift. So now I'm going to do RDLs. Because I had that back spasm on Monday, my back's been a bit tight. I've had an extra rest day. We've been Christmas Day yesterday as well, which was much needed. I'm going to do 20 reps RDLs, so I usually do 8, but I'm going to do 20. Then I'm going to do 10 reps. I'm going to put it down, might do another set of 20. Then I'm going to do 10 reps of bent over rows. Then I'm going to get 70 kilos on. And I'm probably going to belt up at 100 today, just to make sure my lower back's just like nice and protected. I'm using my core properly, all that kind of jazz. Just being a bit more cautious today. Because starting the block, we want to make sure everything feels fresh. Right, 4 sets of 4. Good mornings. I'm doing the same stance that I squat with, so wide as fuck. Belt position, same as my squat, so top of the belt just overlapping my belly button. when I deadlift, I do it opposite. I tend to put like my belly button's overlapping, like it's just getting overlapped, sorry, by the bottom of the belt or around midway sometimes. So I just have basically have my belt higher on a deadlift. So we've got this belt a bit lower on this. You know what, we just had it. So belly button's just getting overlapped at the top there. And all we're focusing on is weight through the midfoot. So base of the big toe, base of the little toe, heel. So kind of nice even foot pressure. Pressing out into this belt, staying real tight, and just shifting the hips back to the wall behind me. Don't think of sticking my arse out, because whenever I do that, it encourages me to like arch my back, which I don't want to overly arch it. So I just end up just fucking using way too much lower back rather than like everything together. Get tight. You know what? I'm really glad we picked that weight, because I can tell that my back is still mega fatigued from the back end of last training block. I was doing between 10 and 15 kilos heavier than this for more reps in my last block. I'm doing sets of 5. And that there didn't feel, you know, you'd expect it to feel way easier because it's 10 to 15 kilos less and I'm doing one less rep, but it didn't. That's just because of fatigue. So we're doing the right thing, picking these lighter weights today to get rid of that fatigue, ready for next week. Right, training complete. Happy. Very happy with that session. Yeah, that extra rest there has done me the world of good this week, and just as well as that, just being more of a professional today with things. So taking that extra bit of time to warm up. Yeah, it's meant I'm like a bit pressed now at the end. I've got to be ready in 28 minutes to leave my house, and I'm not home. You know, it's that's a bit daft, and I've done my stretches at the end because of that. So I suppose you could say I'm not being that professional, really. But the actual session itself was really good. I was, you know, taking that 10 minutes to walk on the walking pad as well before I went into the garage just gives opportunity. I mean, I was watching World's Strongest Man, watching the Glasgow qualifier, whilst I was on the walking pad, but I was also thinking about what I'm hitting in the session, and I actually pulled up the app that I use to train with, and I was like, right, this is what weight I reckon I'm going to use today for this. This is what weight I'm going to use for this, just to stop me like making emotional decisions when I got into the session. And I just figured, like, I just think to like Hathor is like a brilliant example of this. Obviously I know that guy is like a 200 kilo man, but he's like, if you look at his like old footage of him training, like there was some, obviously he was like big and strong, he was still deadlifted like 300 kilos and that, but it was disgusting watching it, and it was a proper grind and a struggle. And that's like apparently what all his training used to look like, quite a lot like that. Whereas you see him train now and everything looks easy, you know. His coach Sebastian Oreb like has him pull right back, and the start of any training block is just like almost looks pointless. It's that easy. But this is what we can take from that. You know what I mean? Like, he's like fucking one of the strongest geezers on the planet. Definitely the strongest deadlift on the planet. And the way he trains, like everything looks, start of the training block, everything looks completely effortless. He might have like one lift in the entire training block which looks like he has to put in a bit more effort. Like not a grind. You don't see him grind in training. He has to put in some effort, maybe like an RP8. Something where he's got 2 reps in tank right at the end of the block, maybe RP9 max. But like, he just throws his ego to one side when he's training. He just does what he's told. And obviously, you know, there's something you can take from that. Obviously, the guy who coaches me, Dan, he doesn't tell me what loads to hit, what weights to hit all the time. And I do prefer it that way, because like the way you feel week to week and things like that can vary massively. So I do like having that flexibility, but it just means you've got to be super disciplined, or I've got to be super disciplined in this case with load selection. So yeah, that's why we only did 20 kilos aside for every single set of them safety bar good mornings. Set number 2 felt easier than an RP6, like easier than it's supposed to be on paper, but I just kept it the same, and that'll do me massive favours. I put it like, don't get me wrong, like it wasn't something I could do for like 20 reps. It wasn't like an absolute piss take, but it was slightly easier than what it says it's supposed to be. But that's not a problem when the goal of the training session is to just like ease you back in and get everything in a good spot to build momentum in the coming weeks. So yeah, happy with that. As you can see, dumbbell press, we sort of it's supposed to be 3 sets of 12 RP8. I did a set of 12 at 32.5 kilo dumbbells. I'm trying to, and I did like, it was like basically an RP6. It was a bit too easy, so I went to 40s, and I just figured if it's too hard for 12, I'll just do less reps and stick to the RP. So I ended up doing 2 sets of 8 on 40s. So I undershot the reps, but I made sure I didn't like grind any reps out. I still had like at least 2 in the tank, so happy with that. I don't know if you can see, I was doing like usually when I do incline dumbbell press, I do like a flared elbow, come down to about 90 degrees and up and back in. But just off the back of running flat dumbbells for the last 8 weeks, I figured I'd give it a go. What was it, even 8 weeks? Might have even just been 4 weeks. But I thought I'd give it a go of like trying to get in a similar position, a bit more tucked elbow and coming all the way down. but it just doesn't work the same on an incline, I've found. Mainly because you can't, like, once you get into position with the dumbbells and you get back on an incline, you can't really push yourself up the bench like you can do on a flat. And when you push yourself up the bench on a flat press, it enables you to get your shoulders like down and back and into that really like safe, strong position, like your lats and everything are packed, chest is up, shoulders down and back. Whereas, so I can like come all the way down, massive range of motion, really safe, it feels great, it feels like a bench press just with dumbbells. Whereas with the incline, because you're coming back with the dumbbells, you're kind of a bit shrugged up. Obviously you're trying to fight that shrugged up position to try and get your shoulders down and back, but it's very hard to do that when you've got weight in your hands if you can't push yourself up the bench, which you can't push yourself up the bench really, because you're fighting gravity and all that shit. So yeah, I tried doing the tucked elbow full range because my shoulder blades weren't pinched like down and back. Kind of just ended up doing some like weird shit where I was tucked, it was more range of motion, but I don't know, fucking the dumbbells were like tilted in and all this kind of funky shit. So I'll make a call on whether I keep doing it like that. I mean, it felt alright, it just looked a bit like amateur hour. I mean, I'll make a call whether next week I keep it the same as that, or just do the flared elbow 90 degrees back up and in and just take it for what it is. But I'll make a decision on that. It's the only thing from the session today where I was a bit like, would have liked that to be a bit better really. But yeah, deadlifts moved well. Hit that 150 for my top double. It's supposed to be RP6. It probably was an RP6. I wanted it to feel even easier there. So what I did was I dropped the weight slightly and went 135 rather than 140 for my sets of 3 after, and they were bang on the money. Yeah, whereas that top set was like, probably was an RP6, felt like a 6.5. That's alright. I'm sure next week I'll be nice and fresh. But yeah, that's it for today. Gonna get back now, slam a shake, might get some cornflakes down. My cornflakes seem to digest really well, you know. I used to go rice based after training, but corn seems to digest fantastically. So I might do cornflakes and whey, and then yeah, we're heading over for some Boxing Day food at the father-in-law's. I don't know what's to come. We usually get some craziness. It's usually awesome, but it's usually a bit different, stuff I don't usually eat. So yeah, we'll see what that is. But it's not Christmas, but it's Christmas. So we'll just eat what we're given, enjoy it, have the extra calories and go from there. But yeah, hopefully you liked this vlog today. I hope you had a fucking mega Christmas. I hope you're super gassed up for the new year. By the way, I don't know if anyone's clocked the tea yet. My brother got me this t-shirt. This is a fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin authentic tee, which I was fucking gassed. He got me for Christmas. I was so gassed. He used to absolutely smash wrestling when we were kids. When we were like a 10, 11, 12, that kind of thing. 9, 10, 11, 12. Absolutely just smashed the shit out of it. Just watch it all the time. And yeah, this Stone Cold Steve Austin retired in 2003 when I was like 9 years old. But he was like the coolest, he was like the fucking coolest wrestler. Bald, had a goatee, and then there were a point in time as well, around the same time, my dad was bald and had a goatee as well, so I was like, fuck me, I want to be bald and have a goatee. But here we are, Penny bullying me to keep my hair, so sabotage. Just got to live vicariously through the Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt instead, and wear a beanie so I can pretend I'm bald. But yeah, if you're a wrestling fan, or you used to be as a kid, comment below saying rattlesnake. You'll know what I'm talking about if you're into that shit, or you was. But yeah, I hope you have a good new year, or if by the time I've uploaded this and it is the new year, happy new year. See you in a bit. Peace.